Hey guys, this is Joe, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I'll go through the MG Pilot driver safety systems available on the all-new MG HS. There are many features to cover, so what I'll do, I'll leave all the timestamps down below on YouTube for you to skip forward when you need to. As always, if you find this video helpful, the best way to support the channel is to subscribe and like. If you wish to see more MG HS tutorials, do not forget to go to the link in the description to check all the videos I'm going to make for the all-new MG HS. Now let's get started. Alright, on the new MG HS, every single safety feature on the MG Pilot is all under the vehicle. Under the MG Pilot, all these features are there. First feature is called Drive Assist Systems. You can turn this function off. Not going to do anything, nothing's going to be switched on. If you change to limit, you can actually use a speed limiter setting. So you can see over here, you can use the buttons on the cruise control or speed limiter setting to set your speed limiter. Let's say right now our speed limiter is 50, for example. We can use this to go up and down. When this is blue color, it just means the vehicle will set your speed limit to 50. If you're using the accelerator, using the brake, anything like that, it's not going to allow you to go over 50 kilometers per hour unless you floor the accelerator. When you floor the accelerator, momentumly, it will allow you to go over 50 just to overtake someone or do something. Then eventually, it will limit your throttle to limit under 50 again. So that's how to use the speed limiter and the manual setting. There is also an intelligent setting. Click the intelligent. You can see that letters will change to auto. So when these letters are in black color, it just means they are ready. They are not engaged, but they are ready or they are paused. Whenever you like, press this, that will be engaged under auto speed limiter. That means the speed sign will read 50 in this area, then it will limit your speed limiter to 50. And if it's this should change to 60, this automatically change to 60 without you needing to do anything. Again, to disengage, press this function again. Now it's paused with black letter, and that's how that works with the speed limiter setting. You can change manual or intelligent whenever you like, or switch it off whenever you like. Next is called ACC. This is called Adaptive Cruise Control. To engage the cruise control, once you start driving over 5 kilometers per hour, you can single press this steering function key. That means the vehicle will set on your driving speed on the top. Blue light means it's doing the cruise control for you. Gray or any other light, that means they are paused or they are cancelled, they're not engaged or anything like that. Once you switch on the cruise control, you can use this switch to go up and down. Going up by one click, that just means one by one incremental on the speed. Going down one by one, decrease on the speed. If you push and hold on this click, it will go 5 by 5s. Let's say 40, 45, 50, things like that. Or keep pushing down, it will go 40, 35, 30 also. The lowest speed you can set will be 30 kilometers per hour, but the vehicle will still travel under 30 if the vehicle in front of you is traveling slower than your set speed. Let's say you set the cruise control at 80, the vehicle right in front of you is only traveling 60, and eventually come to a stop, your vehicle will follow the front vehicle to a complete stop. To change that follow distance, you can go left and right from here. Right means incremental on the distance, the maximum is 3. Left, you can change to 2 or 1, whatever you like. It really depends on your traveling speed. This distance will change automatically between your traveling speed as well, but you are also be able to increase and decrease the traveling speed. But to set the maximum distance or lower distance is to by yourself to go through these function switches. Whenever you want to cancel the cruise control, single press this button will allow you to cancel, or press the brake at the same time, that will cancel the cruise control. When the cruise control is set, then cancelled at the same sort of trip, you can also use the function to resume. Just flick this up to the plus side, you can resume the cruise control. It will resume back to the last set cruise control. Another situation, the vehicle will come to a complete stop. When you are doing cruise control and follow the front vehicle, then eventually the front vehicle comes to a complete stop. If the vehicle in front of you stopped less than 3 seconds, then it goes. Your car automatically will go forward without you doing anything. But if the front vehicle stayed longer than 3 seconds, after that, it resumed to the traffic. You will need to flick the switch up to resume back to cruise control, or simply tap the accelerator on the side to give a small push to let the vehicle go back to cruise control again. So that's how to use the cruise control. You always want to see this function light. If it's blue, means the cruise control is working. Gray or black means the cruise control is paused, ready, not working, not doing anything just yet. That's all these functions. Next is called ICA. This is purely based on ACC. So that means when you do ACC, it's going to do the balance and all things. ICA, it will also do the balance between you and the front vehicle and the cruise control. But on top of that, the vehicle also see the line marking in front of you and give you steering assist if necessary in front of you. You are going to see a steering symbol on the top. That's additional symbol. That just means the vehicle gives you steering assist. If you are using the intelligent cruise control ICA, when you start the cruise control, the laser light is blue, but the steering is not blue. It just means under the current scenario or the functions, the vehicle is not ready to give you any steering, but when it's working, both lights will become blue. That means both things are going to do the work for you. So that's how to use the ACC and ICA. When you drive the vehicle, you don't have to go to the screen to quickly change between the ACC and ICA. All you need to do is just push and hold, and give it 2 seconds and release. Now it goes to ACC, so no steering, just like that. Screen changes as well. Push and hold again 2 or 3 seconds and release. That means ICA on that screen with the steering on the dashboard, just like that. Next part is called speed limit recognition. You can switch this on and off. Whenever you start the vehicle, it's always going to be on. You cannot permanently turn this function off. Speed limit recognition just means when you go past an area with the proper speed sign displayed, it's going to show 50, 60, whatever reading on the top. If you're over that speed limit, it's going to give you an overspeed audible warning. So switch on and switch off whenever you like. But do remember, the vehicle always turn this function on whenever you start the vehicle. It's not something we'd love to have it on all the time, but this is a compulsory feature to get something like ANCAP safety rating. So if you do not like it, go into the MG Pilot, switch it off if you do not want it. Next is called speed limit change audible warning. This function can be annoying as well, but again, depends how you like it. If the speed rating is saying 60 right now, and when you go around the corner, it changes to 80 or change to lower to 30 or anything like that, it's going to give you a small warning on the dashboard to let you know that the speed limit has been changed or has had a change over the last past the seconds and things like that. Again, you should be able to permanently turn this off, at least for the car I'm driving. Next is called lane departure assist. Again, this function, even if you turn it off this time, it's going to be switched on whenever you restart the vehicle. Next, mode. So when you do the lane departure assist, when you drive over the 60 kilometers per hour on the speed on the motorway, the vehicle will see the line marking on the left and on the right. If you're going over the line marking, or if you're just randomly bouncing between the lanes, it can give you alert. That means ping sound. Assist. Just before you go over the line marking, it might give you a small steering assist, but you can override it 100% at any time. ELK, it's more advanced. Before you go over the line marking, it's going to give you a small balance. It's going to try to sort of keep you in the right center instead of bouncing you over the line marking. Again, every time, even if you switch everything off, switch to alert, it's going to switch to on and ELK anytime when you start the vehicle. Next, you can change the alert sensitivity, low, medium, or high. Personally, I think medium is okay for me. It's not going to give me too much of beeping, but at the same time, it's doing the right thing for me. But if you don't like the medium, go low or go high, whatever you like. Audible warning, you can do on and off. So when you have alert or anything like that, it does ping or it does not ping at all. Next is the front collision assist. You can switch this on and off, but do remember, whenever you restart the vehicle, it's always going to be on. On the second line, you can change to assist mode. That just means whenever you are driving on a certain speed, you are likely to crash into something or someone. The vehicle will give you an alert to let you know your speed is quite high. Well, time to brake. But at the same time, if you're still not braking on the last second, the vehicle can engage AEB. It's called Autonomous Emergency Braking. It's more like an emergency type of braking, so it's not enjoyable. And if you do want to change the sensitivity, you can low, medium or high if you like. Next, these are the two features that everyone hates, and personally I don't like them at the moment, at least for the current software as well. First one is the driver drowsiness detection. That just means if you're driving the vehicle, you are actually going to fall asleep or your eyes are closed or anything like that, the vehicle will give you warnings on the dashboard. If you do not like it, press this off. If you do not like the auto warning, press this off as well. So that's how that works. Next is the driver detection monitoring system. If you're driving the vehicle, you're not focusing on the road, the vehicle also give you warning. Let's say you're watching the middle screen for too long, you're watching on your phone too long, or you are being distracted, you're not focusing on the road, it's going to give you a warning. All these two functions are powered by a small monitor over here. This monitor will detect whatever the driver is doing, or the driver's eyes motions and things like that. For these two functions, whenever you start the vehicle, they are automatically going to be switched on. Again, this is related to the ANCAP safety rating or other safety regulations. And they are powered by this particular monitor over here. The monitor will see the driver's eyes detection and things like that to know what you are doing and to give you warning and things like that. There's a small trick though. If you do not like this monitoring system, you do not want to turn it on and turn it off every single time you start the vehicle, we all understand it's going to be a little bit tricky. You can actually put a sticker, just cover this whole thing. Once you put a sticker on your dashboard, it will give you some warnings, letting you know that this function no longer work. So you get the yellow triangle on the dashboard. But that's pretty much it. It's not going to give you pings and pings and pings, and you don't have to switch off every single time when you start the vehicle. And that's my trick, and that's unfortunately everyone's trick on many manufacturers' vehicles. So yeah, if you do not like this, the best way to just put a sticker on top and let it go. That's it. Next, if we keep swiping down, we can find the rear driving assist. This is your blind spot monitoring system and blind spot sensors that is located on the outer part of the wing mirror. It's hard to see right now, but I'll explain how that works. When you start driving on the road, it's going to give you assistance and things like that. First one is called door opening warning. If you parked and you are going to open the driver or passenger door, but there's coming traffic behind you, the vehicle will give you indication that something is coming behind you. Next, blind spot detection. So when you drive on the motorway or when you drive on the road, the vehicle is traveling behind you on the right, on the left, at your blind spot, the light will lit up. So you know there's someone traveling behind you. Lane change assist. If the vehicle has detected a vehicle coming behind you from your blind spot, the light is already on your blind spot monitor. Then if you are still indicating left or right, the indicator will flash to let you know that someone driving behind you. Next, rear traffic cross alert. If you are reversing and there's a vehicle passing behind you, it's going to give you a warning and on your light, on your wind mirrors as well, to let you know someone is actually crossing. And if it's very dangerous, you are likely to go hit the pathway, you're likely to crash into this passing traffic or passing person, whatever. It's going to give you a very harsh braking. If you do not like it, you can actually change this to alert. Some people may not like the sudden braking when you are trying to reverse, but again, these are the safety features you can use. Rear collision warning. So this is another cool function. So if the vehicle detects there's upcoming traffic behind you, it's going to crash into you, and it's unfortunately not avoidable with the vehicle being at the front. It's going to give you a warning, and it's going to fasten your seatbelt. It's going to give flashlight to the rear cars and things like that. So that's the rear collision warning. Alright, that's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you do not forget to subscribe, like, that's the best way to support the channel. If you want more MG HS tutorial videos, you can use the link down in the description to open the full playlist to go through all the videos I'm going to make for this particular channel. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you next video.